All right, today we got a video from my man Kenny. 2025 NBA free agency has been ... Hey, let's see what this man's got to say.
NBA free agencies opened up about 27 hours ago as I record this video. And I basically want to talk about all the cool things.
Hold on, before we get into this, hey, my 76ers have not done shit in free agency, bro. They ain't really got money, but bro, they signed Trenton Watford. Like, bro, come on. We got to do better than that.
Not so cool things that I've been seeing over the last chunk of time. Shams Charania did tell us this was going to be the craziest, potentially the craziest offseason of all time.
Why is bro lying? Come on. This shit is like, I'm not gonna lie, this free agency has been mid as hell.
It ain't been that. But there have been some teams going forward. And as we see, we're in the parity NBA, even though OKC did their thing and it might be the most out of all the previous champions, the most primed to go back-to-back, there's so many teams looking at the landscape of the NBA and say, hey, why can't it be us? And because of that, we got teams being aggressive. The Denver Nuggets are aggressive for basically the first time forever since they...
Bro, the Nuggets, bro, their roster, bro, if it's either Thunder or Nuggets winning the chip. Whoever comes out the West is winning that shit. Bro, the Nuggets, Cam Johnson,
the Calvin Booth and
that shit was crazy.
The Atlanta Hawks, matter of fact, I'm starting off with the Atlanta Hawks. Look at this. This is a real NBA team, y'all. If you've been watching this channel for some time,
who the fuck? Yo, who is this? Who is this? Bro. I've never heard of those dudes in my life.
3 of the last 4 years, I've come to the show and convinced myself that the Atlanta Hawks were going to be at least good, right? Not saying that they would win the Eastern Conference or they would do this, they would do that, but I had convinced myself that they would be making some noise. Last year, I didn't fall for the hype because it burnt my ass over the last couple years.
What?
It's impossible to, for me at least, to look at this depth chart for this season and not think that this is going to be a really successful year for the Atlanta Hawks. Now, the biggest additions they have, of course, is Kristaps Porzingis, who is basically a salary dump, but like still a competent and really good player. If we could get his lungs with him again, and you know when he did play last year, which is not that big of a time, he was pretty solid. They're the only team to say yes to the Joe Dumars madness. Joe Dumars said that he called players or teams between like pick 9 and 13, and everybody said no. The Atlanta Hawks were the only team that said, yeah, we'll do that deal. We'll take that unprotected best of Milwaukee / the Pelicans. And now Milwaukee did some things today that, hell, that pick might be even juicier. And they traded down.
Yeah, and Miles Turner to the Bucks, bro. Hey, that's a good move, but waiving Dame, I don't know. That's questionable.
Asa Newell, who I didn't like if he was going in the lottery, but at pick 23, Asa Newell is a perfect pick. And in the last 24 hours, they added Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I think they had a $24 million trade exception, and they were able to get Nickeil Alexander-Walker, just ship out a second-round pick to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Really good deal there. And also Luke Kennard in a 1-year, $11 million contract. The one thing, notification. Is it? No. My luck is that as soon as I'm done filming this video, something big happens. I'll just record that video regardless. The one question mark that you can ask about a Trae Young-led team, there's 2 question marks, I guess. The first one is, can you create a good defense if Trae Young is on the court? Trae Young, for all his worth, has been better and better defensively every year of his career, but he's only able to do so much as a 6'2" guy. And I'm being very generous when I say 6'2". 6'2" guy
like
that
6
has
foot.
so much pressure offensively. I don't expect Trae Young to go out there and be Davion Mitchell, right, who has a similar height profile. But with the team that they are building right now, Trae Young should be okay.
Bro, the thing is that, like, Trae Young has to play so much offense that, like, how much energy can he really use on defense? Like, I feel like that's the problem with Trae Young. So if they keep building up the team like KP, that'll help take the load off Trae Young for sure.
Hey, Dyson Daniels is a DPOY candidate last season. Resaj Shea, again, I don't know if I'm ever pronouncing that right, projects to get better throughout time. Jalen Johnson, good defensive player. Porzingis, when he's healthy, good defensive player. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, adding him to this team, and again, we're talking about a bench role player, the 6th, 7th man in the rotation. He adds so much versatility to what the Atlanta Hawks could potentially do, because I was really questioning, like, what is the backup point guard situation going to be for the Atlanta Hawks? Is Kobe Buffkin going to be ready to play real NBA minutes when it matter? And this depth chart, they got Vit Krejci as a backup point guard. None of that is really relevant because Nickeil Alexander-Walker is a combo where you just saw in Minnesota that they are able and they were willing to let him initiate offense time and time, and now they can just have a placeholder backup point guard when Trae Young is not on the court. court. Dyson Daniels also showed last season that he can be some creator, facilitate. Jalen Johnson was a point forward last year. And I think that all of this would not matter if we didn't see the transition in Trae Young's game from last season. Trae Young played off the ball the most he had ever played in his career. You know, early onto the season, he was talking about how he's buying into what Quinn Snyder was preaching, and we did see that last year. You know, the first couple years of Trae Young's career, of course, his usage rate is still pretty high because he's pretty fucking good. I would want it to be pretty high.
Yeah, he's the only player on the team.
The first couple years of his career, it was high pick and roll and let Trae Young spread out with the Kevin Huerters of the world. The 1 year John Collins shot it well, and so on and so forth. This year, of course, we still get that because
John Collins, bro, that man fell off. He was actually fire on the Hawks. But that man really fell off.
That's a great thing to do offensively, but he played off the ball and let the others cook a lot more, and I just think that opens up the game so much for the others on this team. And with the Eastern Conference being where it is right now, where it's going to be no Tatum, no Halliburton, hell, no Dame, and Dame only got a damn job right now, why can't the Atlanta Hawks be the team to make some noise next season? Like, I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility. I think there are a couple big question marks, right, when you think about that being a reality. Will you get a healthy Porzingis? Will you get a healthy Porzingis when it matters, right? Because basically the last two runs, even though they won a championship in Boston 2 years ago or last year or whatever, he basically didn't play until like the first game of the NBA Finals. We gave us a game and then he was done, right? So can he be healthy? Reminder, he was a complete salary dump. So that was a worthy gamble if you're the Atlanta Hawks, because if he don't work out, so what? That's the first question mark. Can we get a healthy Porzingis? And the cool thing is, like, Onyeka Okongwu and Porzingis can run some lineups together. They just have so much versatility. Like, I'm again looking at this depth chart. There could be lineups where Trae Young is out there with Alexander Walker, Rishase, Jalen Johnson, Porzingis. There could be a lineups where it's Onyeka Okongwu or Chris Chris.
Yo, looking at these free agents, Keaton Wallace, bro, that man's got to be related to Keyshawn Wallace, right? Bro, they literally got the same haircut. And then Jacob Toppin, I'm assuming he's related to Obi Toppin.
There could be lineups where it's Onyeka Okongwu, Jalen Johnson. There could be smaller lineups where Rishase, moving over to the 4, and you add the shooting of Luke Kennard, and then, like, Quinn Snyder's about to have a field day, and he's going to have so much fun with this different roster constructions. Anyway, going back to the original point, the second thing that was like a big question mark in my personal opinion, or for next season, is what type of leap could we see from Rishase, right? It was a fine rookie last season. I think towards the end of the year, he got his wings, and he started to play a lot better. He had a couple breakout performances, so on and so forth. But, like, if he can be, I don't even know what's the realistic expectations for a year 2 guy. But if he could just be good, let's just say good. Now, I'm not even saying that he's a all-star. I'm not even saying he's a high-level starter. If he could be a starter-level player, that's really good for this team. 6'10", defensive-minded, can knock down a shot, at least that's what we're hoping, can knock down a shot and so on and so forth. This offseason has been as amazing as it can get for the Atlanta Hawks. And if we want to go back to draft day, when they did trade for the pick that ended up being Asa Newell and getting that extra value back, you saw what's going on in Milwaukee, which is basically, I don't fucking know. If Giannis were to ever, no, matter of fact, let me not.
I'm not going to lie, Giannis is gone, bro.
If Giannis were to ever, you want your own picks back? Because if I'm not mistaken, let me double check this. They do have some rights to their 2027 along with the 2026 that you just saw get traded. So, like, in case, just in case. I don't know if I've ever been more excited for Atlanta Hawks team again. That's saying something, because I've been excited about 3 of the last 4 years. I hope they don't come back and bite me in the ass. And somebody said they still got a little bit more money to spend, and I don't know where they go there. Maybe it is going to get another wing 3-4 type of guy, just in case Asa Newell is not ready to play 4 minutes or 5 minutes, whatever it may be. But I'm excited for Atlanta Hawks basketball, and they were able to do this really fast. It feels like just a year ago they traded for DeJounte Murray and gave up all of the capital.
Bro, I forgot about
this.
They were
able to retain some draft picks back while putting together a competent enough team that if we were coming back here in April of next year, it'd be like, oh, the Hawks are the 4 seed. Yeah, that's not a surprise. And that's pretty dope. Next team, this is very low-key. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this one. The Charlotte Hornets continue to just do really cool things around the edges. They traded for Colin Sexton, got a second-round pick in that one. They got Pat Connaughton on an expiring contract for 2 second-round picks. They just brought back Trey Mann as I, got home from where I was at. So around the edges, it's not a team I think is about to go make some noise next season. But, like, I think over the last year, this new regime, this new ownership group, and this new general managing group have done pretty damn good stuff. And I really like a lot of their draft picks. I think Kakanu was really cool. I don't have an opinion on Liam McNeely other than me thinking his 31% in college from 3 is probably not realistic. I think he's a better shooter than that. But Sion James, I think that Sion James is an NBA player. I could be wrong there, but, like, he could be that. So Really like their offseason, even if it's not, again, groundbreaking stuff. The next team is this one.
Bro, that shit is
The
crazy,
Denver
bro.
Nuggets. Now,
Like,
the Denver
bro,
Nuggets,
this lineup, their 10-man lineup, I'm not too familiar with how good Valanciunas still is, but bro, dude, Nuggets, bro, I would not be surprised. Like, if they don't make the conference finals next year, then I think they underperformed, bearing any
pulled off a trade
major
yesterday.
injuries.
A little bit after free agency started, basically sending Michael Porter Jr. in a 2032 first-round pick in exchange for Cam Johnson. Immediately, as I saw that, I'm like, that's a win for the Denver Nuggets.
Definitely.
Not just because Cam Johnson is a good player, but also it frees up the opportunity for them to do more things. It is so crazy that Mike Malone for 3 years was basically asking Calvin Booth, please give me some veterans, please give me some veterans, please give me some depth. And Calvin Booth was like, nah, here's Hunter Tyson. Nah, here's Ignaji on an extension. And I think this might be an interim GM. It's like, no, we're going to go get players right now. And they all might be 30 plus, but like, when is our window? Our window is the Nikola Jokic window. So they bring in Cam Johnson, who I think is 29, 30 years old. They bring back Bruce Brown, who the last time Bruce Brown looked pretty good is when he was playing alongside Nikola Jokic. They bring in Tim Hardaway Jr., and they trade for Jonas Valanciunas, a complete salary dump from the Sacramento Kings. Jokic has never had a center of Jonas Valanciunas' caliber to back him up. And I'm not even trying to gas Valanciunas. He's okay. But it shows you, man, that boy DeAndre Jordan played real playoff minutes for this team last year.
Bro.
Jonas Valanciunas, you'll never ask him to do too much if Nikola Jokic is the one in front of him. Can you give me 8 to 10 minutes in the playoffs, Valanciunas? Yeah, sign me up. This has been great. And the criticism that was going alongside the Cam Johnson trade, some of it is warranted, right? Michael Porter Jr. is younger. Michael Porter Jr.'s contract was $20 million more. So
damn.
Michael Porter Jr. is younger. Michael Porter Jr. is a... That's a really good conversation. I'm thinking about the shooting, right? They're both phenomenal shooters. They're both some of the best shooters in the league. But because of Michael Porter Jr.'s size, maybe it's just a little bit more valuable him as a shooter. I could be just talking there. And they also gave up a 2032 first-round pick. And when that conveys, Jokic is like in his mid-30s. And my response to that is, who the hell cares? You have the greatest player in the world on your team right now. You should not give a damn about anything outside of this current timeline.
Facts.
Yeah, this could not work, and they may not go on to win another championship, and in 2032, Jokic is out of the league or on his last leg and end up being the 5th overall pick. You should not care because you went for it on the timeline that matters. Reminder, this team, when they had Aaron Gordon playing with a bad hammy in the last couple games. I think it was his hammy.
That man went
and
off,
Michael Porter
too.
Jr. had a fucking shoulder brace on. They took our champion, OKC Thunder team, to 7. And now you're telling me I get real rotational players? This Nuggets team has not been a high-volume, high-efficiency three-point shooter team. They add a guy like Tim Hardaway Jr. who, let's be real, can be hot and can be cold. But they don't. They haven't had that type of guy. Julian Strought kind of projects to be that, but it's not really him. So they add a Tim Hardaway Jr. and they get in Cam, and because you dropped that extra $20 million in the trade, well, you were able to go sign some of these dudes on the minimum. And if I'm not mistaken, they still got a little bit more money that they can spend. This is great. I think they're better today than they were 2 days ago, and I think that's all that really matters. I think Cam Johnson brings another level of creation that Michael Porter Jr. was never able to do. He's a better passer than Michael Porter Jr. Defensively, you can flip a coin there. I think.
Let's be real. Anyone in the fucking league is a better passer than Michael Porter Jr. That man does not swing the fucking rock. The memes are warranted, bro.
That the value that Michael Porter Jr. had as a defender is that he was taller and longer. And he also rebounded a lot better. So this team is smaller today than they were yesterday. But again, they got Jonas Valanciunas on the team. I just really like the fact that they're starting to do some stuff where I feel like the last couple off seasons, after they basically acquired Aaron Gordon, they were losing more players than they were adding. And this offseason, it's like, who knows what's going to go on with Bruce Brown? Bruce Brown basically had one really good year of his NBA career, and that was with Jokic. So hopefully they can reconnect some of that stuff. So there's a possibility that he's not that good because the last 2 years he hasn't been that. But it's a league minimum contract, so it don't really matter, you know. So get ready to see some cowboy outfits back in Denver, baby. And again, Big Val only needs to give you 10 to 15 minutes a game in the regular season, and in the postseason, that's even less because Jokic is just an Iron Man, and he can play 40-plus minutes on a nightly basis. So really like that.
Yeah, because he plays no defense.
You know, OKC was so good in the regular season and really good in the postseason as well. There's nothing about their team that makes you think that nobody else should be going for it, and the Denver Nuggets are going for it, which I think is a win. Next winner, Houston Rockets.
Oh, bro, the Rockets, bro, had a great
Kevin
offseason.
Durant extend Jabari Smith Jr., steal Dorian Finney-Smith away. They got him listed as a shooting guard. Golly. Steal Dorian Finney-Smith away from the Lakers. Re-sign Clint Capella, or re-sign Steven Adams and bring back Clint Capella. Bring back Jay Sean, Jeff Green, and Aaron Holiday on minimums. Reece Shepard should probably get some burn this season. I don't know what can be said outside of what has already been said across platforms, but boy, I'm really excited about this Houston Rockets team. I think they also have some positional versatility that you saw in the postseason or in the regular season last year, and now they're adding Kevin Durant. Who knows what Amin Thompson's going to look like in year 3? Who knows what Alfred Sengun's going to look like next year coming off an all-star appearance? Jabari Smith Jr. is just a good ball player. He just got his extension. I'm just really excited about the Houston Rockets. I don't know if there's anything else to say. Not excited about what the hell this team is doing, but I digress. Not currently excited about what this team is doing, but I'm expecting them to sign DeAndre Ayton tomorrow.
Yeah, they signed Ayton. I was just about to say that.
Maxi Kleber as a starting center. Look at the money. Hey, listen.
Damn, Emmanuel Quickly's getting paid that?
And if you're a Raptors fan and you can explain it to me, please explain it in the comment section, because this is a very expensive starting 5.
No, facts. What the fuck?
For a team that it's not going to be very good. They might be okay. They might be okay. But I don't know if they're going to be, you know what I'm saying? Cool, you understand. Also, Damian Lillard doesn't have a job currently, and he seems really ecstatic. He uploaded twice on Instagram since the news has happened, so he's doing okay. He's doing really okay. One of the more bizarre situations where we get the notification that Miles Turner was going to the Bucks for 4 years. I think it was $107 million. And everybody looked at each other like, how the hell are they able to pull it off? And then like 2 minutes later, we hit the Dame news. And I think in real time, I felt bad for Dame because obviously he had the blood clot, fought his way back to try to play in the postseason, and then tore his Achilles. It felt like they may have been doing him dirty, but it seemed like it was a mutual thing. So I feel less bad about it. I still don't look at the Bucks and say, oh my God, here they come in the Eastern Conference, because that lineup that they could run out there is Kuzma still your third most important player. I don't feel great about that future. But you got to try some things, and they're trying some things, man. They're trying. All right, I think I'll wrap there. Obviously going to be doing a lot of offseason stuff as things keep rolling in.
All right, that's it. Hey, shout out Kenny for the informational video, keeping me updated with the NBA free agency. Hey, let me know what you guys think in the comments.